Ms. Foxx for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today is the 50th anniversary of the passage of Title IX, legislation that revolutionized women's sports and women's access to education. Since the Education Amendments of 1972 passed, women's participation in sports has skyrocketed. 50 years ago, only 1 out of every 27 women participated in college-level sports. Today, that number is 1 in 5. Title IX granted women equal access to educational opportunities, including college admissions and teaching positions at post-secondary institutions. Because of this, more women are going to college today than ever before. While this monumental legislation has strengthened our country and our workforce beyond belief, it is under threat today. Expanding this legislation to include other designations like sexual orientation and gender identity goes beyond the intent of Congress. It also dilutes protections for women and in some cases threatens their safety. We already knew Democrats were willing to weaponize Title IX when they used it to deny due process to students accused of sexual assault on college campuses. The rights of due process should not end simply because someone is a student, but thankfully the Trump administration set things right on this front. Now new threats are emerging. While the advancements made under Title IX have been numerous, the Biden administration is attempting to use this legislation to further a progressive social agenda. For example, the Biden administration is threatening to hold school lunches hostage if K-12 schools do not agree to a slew of controversial gender-neutral policies. One of these policies will likely be forcing schools to allow biological males to compete in girls' sports, something already happening at many schools across the country. And the results are in. It erases women. Let me say that again. It erases women. Ignoring the biological differences between the male and female body is a catastrophe for women, especially in sports. It destroys a level playing field and makes women second-class citizens in their own sports. Even the international stage has begun to take notice as the International Swimming Federation voted to restrict many transgender women from competing in international swimming competitions. We've already seen women's records in swimming and track obliterated by biological males. Athletes give their all to be the best they can be. It is cruel to take the chance of success away from women, especially when it could mean losing out on a college scholarship or other important opportunities. Perhaps even more concerning is the threat these policies pose to women's safety. It is completely irresponsible to take away a woman's right to privacy and security by mandating gender-neutral spaces, allowing biological males, even if they identify as a woman, into women's locker rooms, bathrooms, jails, and domestic violence shelters pose a threat to the safety of women. I shouldn't have to spell this out for you. It's common sense. Today should be a day of celebration, one where we marvel at the gains women have made in sports and in education. But the Biden administration's actions have certainly put a damper on this momentous anniversary. It's time for Democrats to regain their senses and once again commit to protecting the integrity of women's sports and the safety of women. This political agenda is destructive and unbecoming of a country dedicated to the equal opportunity for all. I yield back.